Wait a second, I'm not ready for this live. I don't even know why I pressed live yet. But we'll talk about it. All right, give me a second. Why is this? This is at 200x percent. For what reason? Or 200%? Or 200x percent? That doesn't make sense. That would be a 2x. You know what I'm saying. Bro, just give up. That'd be funny if I actually just gave up. I was like, I'm gonna just hit end stream as I started it. Or you mean like give up on Terra Luna Classic? I mean, we could talk about it. Let's talk about this because I feel like we definitely need change. I feel like no matter what, you're gonna see popularity within the position. You're gonna see movement, but it's just whether we're gonna see what we all want to see. Like, I'm never gonna give up on Terra Luna Classic. It's my largest gain, and it will percentage wise, not really money wise, but percentage wise, definitely. Um, and I think we just need some change, and I don't know if we truly can have that change because certain people just talk louder, right? And it's not necessarily saying, hey, we need a higher burn tax or anything like that. It would be great to have that, but it's not a necessity. I think what we need is to see the community all come together. And I put sorry, I put a Lunar proposal on um, in the station app, the station wallet. So we'll talk about that as well. Um, Hi Matt, how you doing? Fire. Good morning, Matt. How are you this morning? I'm doing pretty good. I mean, can't fully complain. I probably only have an hour to this live stream, maybe not even that actually. I just wanted to come on here for like 30 minutes and talk about it because I have to go get Harper ready for school. Actually, you know what? I probably do have an hour because Erica will be here until about 8 o'clock. So um, I'll have until then. So I'll have about an hour in order to talk about all of this. But we're definitely gonna discuss, Terra Luna Classic all together and discuss what we have working with us. So it's good to see Terra Luna Classic at a certain level. With the drop zero and staying there for a while. So again, we'll discuss it. Bro, just give up. How are you going? How's it going? Going pretty good. The Lunar proposal on X already has positive commentary. I have seen that a lot of people are like, yeah, this definitely has to happen. But we're going to talk about that as well. Orange still moving. I did see that. I didn't see that today, but I saw it yesterday. It needs something to work permanently. Need something to work permanently for Terra Luna Classic. Hi Matt. Binance in the Philippines already banned. Binance in the Philippines are already banned. Well, that's not good. Something has to happen for sure. Good evening, Perry. Good evening to you as well. So we got 72 people that are here. Make sure you guys take the time to hit that like button. And I don't know how many people we got on Rumble, but I'll go ahead and check that out. It's probably a couple of people. Looks like we got one person that's watching on Rumble. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. It may just be me, but I'm not sure because it doesn't have a dashboard, so it pops up as me watching. But I do appreciate you watching. Also, anybody that's on X, we got 2 viewers, so thank you guys for taking the time to watch me. But let's go into my son still investing his $10 a week in Lunik. I still believe Lunik has a lot of possibility, a lot of growth potential, and movement. Now, if we look at where Lunac is, just to give you a little bit of an update on what's happening here. Currently, Terra Luna Classic is at a 1.5% increase on the day. We're seeing it at the drop zero level, 30s 1085, a $627 million market cap with $44 million worth of volume. Now, everybody knows that I'm a big fan of seeing burns. I don't understand why we can support or be happy with the fact that like every single day we get taxed and we are not comfortable with the tax on Lunac to see this fully recover and get back to normal. We've had 18, 19 months of what we've had, which was trying to push utility, and none of that has been real. Like, we haven't seen any type of real utility, and the only utility that we've seen is being able to buy NFTs. And people will say, oh, well, buying NFTs is a form of utility. That's amazing to be able to see that. Is it though? Is it? Because what I notice is that the person creating those NFTs are benefiting the most from that, as you as a holder are not benefiting at all. And most of the time, any utility that's being created is not for the masses. But if they make $100,000 from this utility, it may not be a massive impact to the overall position, but it will be a massive impact to that person's pocket for having $100,000 through those NFTs. They took the time and created those NFTs, and maybe they spent $10,000 and made $90,000 in just a matter of a month or so. And that's kind of what those people want to protect. People that only care about themselves, right? I care about the community, and they will claim that I only care about myself. What have I gained from any of this situation? I mean, yeah, I gained something when I'm talking about Terra Luna Classic, but I gain a lot more when we see positivity within Terra Luna Classic. I gain a lot more when I see you guys that are benefiting from it. If you guys aren't benefiting from it, then my view count is down. So we need to see people that are benefiting from it. It's not me per se. I don't need to benefit any more than what I already have. But what I want to see is everybody else benefit from it. And I'm being labeled as someone that doesn't care about the community. That's all I've cared about, 100% of the time. So with that being said, I talked about how the last vote that we had, where it got close to passing at a 1.5% overall tax, and I believe 1.2 was going towards the burn, as well as point like 3 or something that was going towards like community pool spending and all this other stuff that was going to help out the chain. Obviously, that's not going to change anything off chain, which is majority of the volume, and we need to find a way to do that. Well, after that vote, and I'm not saying that the vote on that really truly mattered if we were going to see this thing thrive or not, but it does provide a level where we now see the ability to burn on chain, and hopefully can push that to off chain and all agree upon this. During that vote, you had validators, top validators that decided to go abstain, right? That decided to say no. Not just say no, just to say no, I'm not going to vote. And they don't want to vote with or against the popular opinion. But there's also people that will only go with who's winning, right? And those validators are, instead of being leaders, they're now followers. And it's a problem. And, Brian and I established this. He brought up a great point saying that we should have, hidden voting so that we don't know where people are voting. But there was a better idea that ended up coming up, which was that we should see hidden voting results so that nobody knows exactly who's winning, if it's a yes vote or a no vote in any scenario. And also, I came up with another piece to it where abstain voting should be taken out completely, because we don't need to see a proposal either win or lose on an abstain vote, right? It makes no sense to have a no or yes vote and have 55% or 60% that goes through an abstain, right? They're either yes or no. So that would kind of consider like a half and half type of situation. Just add that to whatever, it would be yes and no at the same point. it makes no sense to have that because they're just hiding behind whatever the popular opinion is, and they're being followers, and I don't like that. So in order to stop that, you need a proposal to go through for them to basically go, all right, I have to vote. And if I don't vote, then either I, have a penalty or people know that I just don't vote, right? We want these validators to vote like not a certain way, but we want them to vote to say either yes or no, and that's the way that it should be. So I created a proposal, and I don't know if it's on here yet because it's on my phone, but I'll check. Let me see if I can bring it up. I created a proposal that's in deposit, but it hasn't come up yet. So it's on my phone though. I can find it. It's just for some reason my desktop app just doesn't update. So let me go on to Twitter. I'll have to log into regular Twitter because I'm on Pro Twitter right now, which is just a mess on the screen for a lot of other people. For me, it's fine, but for a lot of other people, it's not. So yeah, I created something on Twitter that is this. It's in deposit phase right now, and the only reason it's in deposit phase, I put 2 million in there. But obviously I want to see the support from the community and whether people do believe that this is going to be something that can pass or not. But hidden voting results, I'm proposing something very simple, but I believe that it will have a huge impact on the future on the classic chain. I'm tired of validators claiming to be leaders, but let me make sure you guys can see this. I think you can see it. When a controversial vote comes up, they wait to see who's winning the battle and vote that way. I'm proposing that we hide the voting results until the voting period ends. This will allow validators to either go with their gut or speak to their community about it and vote that way. I also propose that the option to remain abstain either be taken away or add a penalty to choosing this option. Penalty amount will be established later. The majority, if not all, of the proposals should be decided on a yes or no vote. Keep in mind that the no vote or no with veto can still be an option. This proposal is to improve voting, our voting system, to be fair and to encourage true leadership and not a follower's mentality. So that's very simple. I put it very simply put. It makes no sense that we have top validators that are voting abstain. If you have 10%, 20% of the vote, it does not make sense for you to go to go this way. That's like, I'm in the middle. I don't want to upset anybody, right? You need to make sure that you either vote yes or you vote no. It's fairly simple. And if I know I never want to take away the option to kind of plead the fifth in a way, because you always want to be able to do that. But if you're a validator, you should be penalized for doing that, or that shouldn't be an option for you in general. Like, you should be voting a certain way based on your community, or because you're now taking the 20%, all of the people that are a part of that, and going, you know what, we don't care exactly how you want to vote, but we want to vote this way. And, all of your votes, no matter what you want, unless you decide to vote yourself, are going to be this way because we decide that, right? And they can decide if it's either a yes or no. If you want to go with your validator's decision, and I heard a lot of people that are like, oh, well, the person that votes, they can just take or like withdraw their coins from that vote by voting against it. And it's like, I understand that, but majority of the people that I've talked to have said, I'm with my validator on this one. I want to let my validator choose whatever they want to choose. I don't want to make a vote. I want them to choose it, right? So if the validator has that where the person is saying, hey, I want you to choose whatever you want, you either choose yes or no, right? That completely takes away their vote. And no one wants their vote taken away, right? So that's the way that I look at it. So I think we need large change for Terra Luna Classic, and I think this proposal is definitely the start of where we need to go, and then we can start to see a lot more change rather than people that are just following, right? Oh, well, this is winning, this is losing, right? It's currently winning, it's currently losing. We see all of those posts saying that it's winning or losing, and people are agreeing or disagreeing with this. But in the end, we'll see exactly how people want to vote because the results will be hidden until we get to the final vote. That's a tactic that works all the time. You see it even on reality shows where they hide the votes, and then when you get to a point where it's like, oh, I didn't know this person would vote that way. It's like, yeah, because that's the way they truly feel without being influenced by you or being influenced by whatever the overall consensus is. So so I made it, like I said, I made it very, very simple. And I also added in the fact that we shouldn't have abstain voting, which may not be maybe a sore subject for people, or maybe something that's not popular with everybody because everybody wants to be able to like to plead the fifth, right? And say, no, I don't want to do this. This chair is uncomfortable. You're like, oh, I don't want to vote on this because I don't want to show my cards. But honestly, like that's where we are. We need a yes or no vote. You see people in Congress that are yay or nay, right? Are you for it or are you against it? And if you're gonna vote abstain in any way, you get penalized for it. Horse heads in all their beds. They will get the sign. What are you talking about? Great job, Matt. Love the way it's written. Well, thank you for saying that. I appreciate it. KYC required for developers is against decentralization. Um, if I made 30K on a crypto play, then took profits and invested in other cryptos that crashed, I'm screwed in tax time. If you made 30K on crypto plays and then took investments or took profits and invested in other cryptos that crashed, I'm screwed in tax time. Are you asking this like you're like, oh, you made 30, you shouldn't be screwed in tax time? Um, because what you can do is, I believe you can push that off to whatever your overall gains and losses would be. But yeah, you wanna kind of realize that just to realize it in the year that you did it. Because there's some people that do that where they'll realize some of their losses later on, and also show their gains from that previous year to do that. Um, but yeah, it's in order to do it kind of consistently, in order to make sure that everything flows through the same year, it does line up to where you would probably end up having to pay a decent amount. If you made 30K on a crypto play and then you lost all of it and you're still holding those positions and you didn't sell any of it before the end of the year, um, to kind of realize those losses, you may be like not, well, I guess screwed is the term that you used, and that's probably the case. Because what they're doing is, especially if you're keeping on an exchange, because what they will do is um, Coinbase, tracks this, and it's based on every transaction that's made. So all these transactions that are made, if it's something that you end up profiting from, they end up tracking it. I saw like on Coinbase, um, it said that I made $50,000 or something like that because of the transactions that I made and money that was moving back and forth, because I moved it off of Coinbase back to Coinbase, and they were like, all right, well, that money was sold, but you brought new money in. So they, it was kind of weird. So I had to kind of go through that and track that a different way. But if you move money too much, it's based on every single transaction, which honestly, that's the only way they can track it. Which um, the best way that they can track it is through a exchange like Coinbase, who tracks your tax information. But if it's done through MetaMask or decentralized wallets, it's not something that's easily um, trackable, or they can't track down as well. Um, if he never took it off the exchange, it's fine. Um, that's not that's not true from what the tax information that I've gotten. Buy on a CEX and sell on a DEX. Well, if you buy on a CEX and sell on a DEX, like if you transfer it over to your wallet and then you end up doing whatever you do and hold it until it goes back to either a CEX or your bank account, then that's when it could be reported in tax season of you receiving money on exchange or in your bank account, right? Um, However, if you are buying something, let's say you buy $1,000 worth of Solana and it's at $10 and it goes up to $100, but um, you already transferred it over to MetaMask. They're probably going to stop tracking that after you end up sending it. So if you bought it and you sent it and it had no type of gain, you don't end up paying anything because it's now in MetaMask or it's in Coinbase wallet, which technically has a tie to Coinbase, but it's in your DEX. And then only when you decide to send that money back to Coinbase or your bank account, let's say you send $1,000 of the $10,000 that you made, that's technically a break even and you don't have to worry about that. But if you send $10,000 back to, your CEX from, there, they're going to be like, all right, well, you gained $10,000. This is how much you have, right? You didn't deposit this. This is how much you gained from somebody, unless you were gifting it from yourself, which is an option that they have to select. It's only 3K deductions. I'm in a tax nightmare with Voyager and my losses. Yeah, that's not good at all. I can't wait till I go through my taxes, which are going to be very soon. Should be fun because, obviously I have my own business and various forms of passive income. So it's like, how much am I paying in taxes? Probably a lot. Last year was like 29,000, I believe. That's crazy. I mean, it's understandable though. But last year had a really good year overall. So I was actually surprised with only 29,000. But then I did get a letter in the mail telling me that I was short on my taxes. So I had to pay an extra like $600. So it was like 29,000, like almost 30,000. I just deposited 200K. Uh, Keep up the good work, brother. You just deposited. Oh, for the Lunic proposal. Well, thank you for doing that. I appreciate that. Yeah, I think this will be a good proposal. Hopefully, we do see it pass, um, and we could see the implementation. I think it's simple. I just don't know how to do it on the back end to really talk about that and how that gets done on their end when it comes to showing this stuff. But I'm sure it should be easier than a lot of the things that are done. So thank you, Brian, for the super chat, and also thank you for adding to the proposal. I have to, like I said, I can only view it on my phone. I don't know what's up with my app. It sometimes doesn't even update. Like I'll go on here and I'll look at like my what's it called, my staking amount, and it'll give me like a dollar figure, but the dollar figure is like always wrong, and I don't understand that at all. And then I'll also look into the wallet, and the wallet will be wrong. Like it doesn't even show my Terra Luna Classic in here. I don't know. I have no idea. But yeah, the Lunic app just bothers me sometimes. Yeah, it doesn't even show up yet, but it's on my my app here.
$1.99 through Super Chat. Just deposited 200K. Keep up the good work, brother.
Yeah, thank you for that. I appreciate it. And yeah, it's definitely getting some good feedback. I think it's necessary um, in order to see this through, in order to see validators, kind of be more transparent and be more open to making their own decision, their own vote. Can't wait to pay my taxes so I can help fund the end of the world. I can't see that. God bless us all. Yeah. Have you seen these people walking around with the Apple Vision Pro on their head? Like, I don't understand. Like, I understand that we're supposed to be like the idea is to be very, very immersive and or not be immersive, but have like AR, even though they're not calling it AR, they're calling it spatial um, reality or something. I don't know what it's called. But these people that are using, like, I have the MetaQuest Pro. I've never walked around with it. I can see actually I've walked around the house with it a little bit, but I can see everything that's happening, and you understand Meta doesn't really have as clear of cameras in order to do their pass-through mode. But I'm sure the next MetaQuest that they launch will have the clearest cameras like ever, because that's really the only thing that they are missing. That and like the no remote type of thing. But you can either use right now, you can use remotes or no remotes, and pinch to zoom and do all these other things. But people walking around with these damn things on their heads, in not only in public but also like across streets and in dangerous situations, it's ridiculous. But that's the future of you know the metaverse, as well as maybe even cryptocurrency, using cryptocurrency within it. Thoughts on XRP and the SEC case? Is there any new news to this? XRP news. So I don't know if there's anything new to what's happening right now. Um, Big news coming for Ripple and XRP, hence the former director. Let's see. In a cryptic Twitter post, former Ripple director Sean McBride has set the XRP community abuzz with hints of imminent big news from Ripple. The excitement is palpable, but skepticism looms large, given the history of unfulfilled promises by major companies that pledged to integrate Ripple's technology only to fall short. I mean, but if you're looking at the SEC case and I guess this is big news just for Ripple, but if you're looking for bigger news from, the SEC case, that would be fantastic. But it doesn't look like this is from the case itself. It just means that, it's a Ripple, partnership. So this creates hype for Ripple, but this is not necessarily for the case. Like, I want to see something happen with that. I want to see something big that happens with that. Luna is a meme coin for sure. It definitely isn't. It has a lot of popularity, but definitely isn't a meme coin. Why promote this scam coin? So understand that Terra Luna Classic is nowhere near a scam coin. Terra Luna Classic and the community that's behind it right now is so much more than just like people that are hype behind something that has a potential to run. It's about building what was, recovering what was, as well as improving upon that situation. You know, Terra Luna Classic had an algorithm in place, had pretty much the most success within an algorithmic stablecoin that you could have. However, the only downfall to that was that it did not have a reserve. It was not supported by like anything there. And they tried to do that. And as they tried to do that, whatever and whoever tried to continuously attack it realized that that was their only time. Because if they build a reserve, which they could have done very quickly, if they build a reserve in Bitcoin, then what their mission was to collapse USTC as well as Terra Luna Classic would be over and done with, right? And we would be in a way better spot if they did have the ability to build that reserve as they were building it. And now we see what that could be. So if we could find a way to decrease that supply, get the algorithm back in place, repeg UST or USTC, and establish a reserve within Bitcoin or within Ethereum or within maybe even XRP, depending on how many billions or trillions it's worth, then we could see everything, flourish. We could see this community grow. We could see the use grow. We could see building grow. Just everything. Who's saying racist stuff? Who's coming here and saying racist stuff? Get a podium. I love this stuff. You say get wrecked. You deserve it. While this guy makes tons of money off of you boys, that makes no sense whatsoever. It makes no sense whatsoever. I'm trying to see everybody else make money before I make money. This is why, companies reach out to me all the time and they're like, hey, I want some sort of, or I want to give you some sort of coin allocation, like in order to pump this position or whatever. And I'm like, no, I'm not taking a coin allocation. I'm not taking part of your coins or tokens in order to pump whatever we have there, because then what I'm doing in that process is, in order to capitalize on what you gave me or what you paid me in a way, I would have to sell. And I'm not doing that to anybody. I'm not a person that will ever like sell on anybody. um I love seeing success. I love seeing success in other people, and it makes me feel a lot better when other people have that success. And if you don't know that by now, then I don't know what to tell you. I'll jump back into Lunic when the burn problem is resolved. I hear you. I 100% hear you. I think right now, even if like we still have a 5% burn tax, right, or 0.5% burn tax, it would be great if it was 5%. 0.5% tax, which a portion of it goes to community pool and all of that, right? So maybe 0.35% that goes towards burn on chain. Perfectly fine with that, right? Because if we can find a way to implement this off chain, then it could still have a very large impact. So we need to focus on trying to get these exchanges to do it. And I think the problem, and I've been saying this for so many months, and this at this point it has to be over a year, where we've been focused on so many other things in the form of, hey, we need to focus on utility, we need to do that. Okay, just because we focus on utility doesn't mean we need to stare at it and go, okay, what are the NFT sales doing, and we can't be bothered by anything else. We can't figure out anything else, and we just stare at this one thing. We don't have to do that. We can say, hey, utility needs to be created. Fantastic. People are creating whatever utility they create. Let's all try and get this supply down. So how about we all focus on trying to get these exchanges to burn? If we do that, eventually one of us will get a response. And when we get that response, it could be a positive response, it could be a negative response. If it's a negative response, we move on to the next exchange, and then we come back to this exchange later. We need to make sure that we create this impact and pick an exchange every week or pick an exchange every day until we get a response, and then we move on to the next one, right? Maybe we can start with the lower exchanges, get all of these different, all of the people to really, or all the different companies to agree to that, and then we can push to some of the major exchanges. Or we can start with the major exchanges and move down to the lower end exchanges. It doesn't matter how we do it, we just need to get it done. Like, I don't understand how that's not a thing right now. That's all we needed to do. We put so much pressure into Binance deciding to burn, and we're happy with Binance's burns, but then people are also claiming that if we decide to get any other exchanges on board, that it would decrease the volume. How does that even make sense? Like, I don't understand the logic. Even though I had a big bag of Lunic, I feel that is a loss. Sorry, Matt, but I'm looking at a money making perspective. I don't care if they fix the system. I understand what you mean, but you need to fix certain pieces of it in order to come out with a positive outcome. So I understand where you're coming from. Um, but the way that I look at it is we need to fix the problem, which is, every time we have any type of vote or any type of change, any type of thing that happens, there's always the, maybe bad actors that will find a way to destroy that. With the Binance burns, they weren't going to burn 50%. They were going to burn 100% of their fees. But you know what made them decide to not burn 100% of their fees? Because we decided to take from them their generosity and burning off Terra Luna Classic. We decided to go, you know what? Whatever they're burning, we're going to go ahead and mint back. It's like, what are you doing? Why are you attacking the only exchange that's helping us out in the community and trying to take from them? That's like going to a homeless person and, giving them $100, and then, you walk away and someone's like, you know what, you didn't need that $100, so I'm going to take 50 from you, and, you go ahead and keep the other 50. You're still getting a blessing, but I'm also taking some of your blessing that was, put forth by somebody else. It's ridiculous, right? We didn't need that. And there's always those bad actors that will always try to destroy what is good, right? What is working. And they did that right from the start. And they showed their cards, they showed their hand, where it's like 1.2%. Instantly. It was like, people say, oh, it was 3 weeks. I said it was 3 weeks. Yes, it was 3 weeks to fully get the change done. But immediately when that 1.2% happened, there were the same people that were questioning whether this would even be a thing, right? Even though 99% of the community agreed upon it, after it got implemented, it was like, nope, this sucks. We need to backtrack on this. And they were already in the process of creating a proposal to change everything. I mean, it's dumb. And this is why they say a decentralized, community may not work, because we decide something and we change our mind. If it's not happening instantly, we change our mind. They say that, two heads are better than one, and that's probably true. But having 4 million heads, it's not, and 4 million people that can make changes is not really a good idea. I don't really know if that's the number, but either way, to have so many million people that can make changes, that's a problem, because you're always going to have those people that speak louder and more frequently. And if they speak louder and more frequently, whatever they're saying is going to be heard by the community more often. It's like subliminal messaging. You ever seen that movie Focus, where Will Smith's character and Margot Robbie do like this whole betting scene? That's like one of the best scenes there. They do a betting scene where they're betting against this Asian guy, and he has to guess the number, but apparently throughout the whole entire, or pick one number or one player on the field, and they'll guess that number. And the subliminal messaging was like really strong, because you had 55 that was showing up everywhere, 55, 55, and then all of a sudden you're like, all right, I'll pick 55, right? Like, that's kind of the same thing here, where somebody that speaks louder and, and more frequently, you will start to gravitate towards that person or whatever they have to say. Matt, I hope you make a video about your proposal. Yeah, I plan on making a video. Um, Orange is up 50% in 24 hours. Only 22 million circulating. out of 100 million total supply. Very early. Still, if you can figure out to buy it, Alex Lab, MEXC, Binance, and Coinbase rumors. Good morning. I was going over all the catalysts that Jasmy has come up. I believe a lot of people are overlooking what Jasmy is creating. Do your own research. I agree. Can there be any outcome in the lawsuit with Do Kwon that a large percentage of stock must be burned? So no. First of all, it's coins, but um, no, there's no outcome to where it's like the large amount or a large amount could be burned throughout that process. Um, the only way we could see any type of burns. Now, what could happen is if Do Kwon has a lot of money, right? If he had hundreds of millions of dollars, but I don't think he does unless it's hidden somewhere, and he was forced to use that in order to recover what once was, that could be a process, but that's probably not going to be the case. That's kind of um, a needle in the haystack scenario type of thing. Um, so I would say we probably focus on what the community wants to do in terms of burning off Terra Luna Classic because that's our best option. I don't I don't know why we don't look at it like that to where or everybody looks at it like that to where we could see a simple tax system throughout that can recover this entire thing. The issue that I think a lot of exchanges have is that when it comes to burning off Terra Luna Classic, it's the thought process that we don't have a plan, right? And it's true. We don't have a plan. We've never established a plan to them to how they can benefit, to how we can benefit, to how the community survives, to what the longevity of this position will be, the future of it will be. We've never established this. And I wanted to always establish this to say, hey, exchanges, this is the reason why you would burn. What do you gain out of this? It's not about them gaining something up front because exchanges care about their balance sheet. They care about what their company is worth in the form of assets. And that's why they want these assets to be worth a hell of a lot. They don't want to just gather a bunch of money, right? That's great to be able to have cash on hand and use that cash, but it's more about having the assets, right? And when you do have those assets that grow to a certain level, that can grow to a certain level, then they feel more confidently about doing that, right? Or confident about doing that, whatever that is. So let's say we did have Terra Luna Classic and we could pitch what we're looking to do, which is decrease the supply of Terra Luna Classic and USTC. If we see those two that are decreasing, now we have the ability to repeg, the entire thing. We could see things get to a higher price. Ultimately, they potentially could gain the same amount by seeing it at a certain level. So if they hold 33%, let's say Binance does hold 33%, and it gets to a value of 3 billion, right? 3 billion, they now hold $1 billion of that $3 billion total of Terra Luna Classic, which is phenomenal. However, I'm sure they want to get to a point where Terra Luna Classic is worth, I don't know, 60 billion. And if it's worth 60 billion, they can now gain 20 billion off of it. So they literally just want to be able to hold the asset that's worth 20 billion and have the consistent trading that's happening with it so that they can gain whatever fees that are with it. But right now, they gain like zero fees. Well, technically half of it because they burn off some and they're supporting Terra Luna Classic. They're showing, like Binance is showing us that they care about what this could be if we would come together and try and get them to be what they believe it's going to be. And the fact that we're not is a major problem. The fact that we keep following people that are just in it for themselves, that are in it to win it for themselves and not in it to win it for the community is sad. The fact that we keep, staking with some of these validators that don't make decisions in the end, that don't necessarily even care, right? They have so many different staking pools that they have with different, chains, that they don't even care what happens with Terra Luna Classic. So if they don't truly care and they aren't in the mix of the decision making, why are we staking with them? Because we're gaining a little bit extra. We're also now doing the same thing as these bad actors are doing because we only care about ourselves. Right? We only care about ourselves to stake with them because we're gaining the most with them and we have the more consistency with them. Like, we don't need to be bad actors as well. I'm not saying that if you stake with them it's bad, but we need to find a way to kind of penalize them or make them vote a certain way, right? Yes or no. Not saying that they need to vote yes or need to vote no. They just need to vote yes or no. There's so many things that could be better about this community, and I try and preach that all the time. I try and speak up, but it's so tiring when you have one against so many. And it does seem like you have support where I talk about it and you'll have a bunch of support. But I've said this before, the only people that comment on posts usually are people that have something negative to say. If you have something positive to say, there's a very small percentage of people that will actually say something positive. They'll just like it and then walk away. If you go to a restaurant and you get a great experience, right? What's the likelihood that you're going to leave a review? Probably a low chance. However, if you get cursed out by the chef or the waiter, you're probably going to leave a review. There's a large chance that you're going to do that. No matter how good the experience is, you're going to see a small percentage that actually leave a review. And that's the battle I deal with, is that I go on here and I'll get a ton of likes within on Twitter, or I'll get a ton of likes on something, but nobody that is, or a very small amount of people that are actually positive will speak up, and everybody that's negative will say everything. I see the comments all the time on every video where it's like, you're still talking about Terra Luna Classic. This is the dumbest thing ever, and majority of the comments are that. And then you have one comment that's like, I agree with you. And then you'll see 300 likes and 400 likes. And it's like, why are all of the comments insanely negative, but I have a 95% not volume to market cap, like to dislike ratio? It's a problem, right? So I'm not saying it's like anybody's fault or anything like that. It's not saying it's your fault or anything. It's just something we deal with because we have a lot of people that are negative, and they'll just continue to hammer away at it. I don't want to make it seem like it's your fault. I don't want to do that. But I do want to make it known that that's the reason why it seems like everybody in comment sections are just negative, because that's all that people want to say are negative things. They expect a positive experience when they come out of something. And I do it all the time too. I'm a person that sees these videos and I'm like, yeah, I agree with that. I don't leave a comment. I'll like it. I do the same thing. So for Terra Luna Classic, we need to kind of ignore all of the noise that comes out of it and just try and continue to fight this battle. Because every time I post something about an exchange, doing a burn tax or whatever, I'll get a crazy amount. It's tiring. I'll get a crazy amount of comments where like, no, this is stupid, clown emoji, whatever. And it is very tiring because it makes me feel like it's not fully supported, that we don't really care about decreasing the supply. And that's why I'll go maybe like a week or 2 weeks where I don't say anything about Terra Luna Classic, because I got so tired of trying to fight this battle, what feels like is by myself, when I know there's a lot of people that are with me. It's like maybe I'm walking and then there's a bunch of people right behind me, but nobody can see those people that are behind me. There's a lot of people that are there, but you can't see them because you're looking at me head on, right? Does that make sense? Um, Brian, that's awesome. I've been dollar cost averaging daily for over a year, waiting for this bull run. I've been continuing the dollar cost average as well. I can't wait for Grok to run. I can't wait for that to make a huge move. And it really doesn't even need to make a huge move. Matt, are you married to Lunic? Not a good strategy. Am I married to it? No. I understand the goal. I understand where this can go. Um, I would say if I was married to anything, it would be more of the investor success. Because a lot of people that I know since I started investing have seen that success. Other people that have followed either my steps or the success that they've seen in the viewership didn't really have that success. I know a lot of people that have started with me when I talked about Terra Luna Classic have made a ton of money from it. However, after the fact, you have more and more people that are coming on that now see the success and now see the possibility. And I feel as though they can see that success as well. And it will further the success of a lot of the other people that have gotten in early that truly believe in this position. But it could have been so much better. And it still can be. I'm never one to give up on a play. I'm never one to give up on an investment because it doesn't show success every minute of every day. We know that Terra Luna Classic can blow up price wise, but what I want to see is not only utility but an entire or a complete recovery, which we could see, but we just need to take action. And I understand how you feel. Thank you for saying that. What if Terra Luna Classic blockchain is split in two, and one part only contributing to burning and other coins? Well, that's what it feels like, but I also don't want to create any type of fork in any way. Um, I've always suggested if we are truly looking for recovery, right? If we are looking for whatever this percentage is and based on recovery and only looking for maybe a 50x return, why not suggest a reverse split? Why not suggest a reverse split to get us back to normal so that we can completely succeed now and see that get to a 40-50 billion dollar market cap with a reserve? Now that would be maybe a little bit of a problem because now the people that want to gain the most out of this by using this community for various forms of utility are not going to be able to do that because now that there are things that are true builders that are coming on and building new things and developing new things, we could see this flourish and get from a $600 million market cap to a 40 or 50 billion dollar market cap and get us back to $1, $2, $3, $4, $5. However, with a reverse split, it would take whatever we have and take away zeros from it. So if we are truly about not burning, then that would be the option. If we're about burning, then we burn, and then maybe down the road, if we see it at 10 billion coins, we're like, all right, you know what? Let's do a 10-to-1 reverse split, and it'll be at 1 billion coins. And now we have the ability to get back to some of these levels at a $50 price point, and USTC can get to some of these levels at whatever price point. Now, it's just there's so many different options, and I think we could take it that route if all else fails. But anyways, I want to see exchanges that are burning so that we could decrease that supply so we don't have to do that. But in the end, when we burn down to about 10 billion, it would make sense to get it at the highest price that we possibly can. We see a simple reverse split at that level, 10-to-1 instead of 100 or 1,000-to-1 at this level. And we see that we can have that further success. But anyways, guys, make sure you go and check out my proposal that's listed on, let me go ahead and find this. My proposal that's listed on, the Classic chain, if you want to go and check it out and go and vote. I want hidden voting results, and I feel as though this can be so beneficial to everybody. And make the validators develop more of a leadership mentality rather than a followers mentality. But yeah, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell for more of these videos. Make sure you guys check out some of the links down below. Also, if you want to, go on Margex and start trading on Margex, feel free to use my link for Margex. I'll put my link in the chat. Feel free to use my link for Margex, where you guys can start trading on leverage if you really, really want to. It's honestly a really, really good platform. I love that platform. I just put it or pinned it to the chat. So definitely go ahead and check that out. And I'm going to get out of here. Thank you so much for watching. And I'll catch you in the next one. See ya.